Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. What is today? Wednesday, the 25th. I'm a day ahead. I keep thinking, for some reason, I keep thinking today's Thursday. I'm a day ahead a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. We're going to talk Diddy today. I feel like I've been going down rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole with it, like what's going on. So, I wanted to bring it over to the channel to see what you guys thought. So welcome in, Cat's Life. I saw you were number one. Cricket Day. Hey, how are you? Hey, Sailor. It's almost your birthday. Wait, what, isn't your birthday like in a couple of days? Because I already told you happy birthday. Hey, Margot. Hey, Hindsight. Welcome in, Catherine. Shelly, Oopsie. Wow. Oh, we got Oopsie today. Juno. Judy. I don't know if did I say Judy? I think I did. I don't remember. Judy again. Judy. Bob's Becca. Mr. Pookie's Grammy. That's cute. Hindsight. I like that. I like that. Hindsight 2020. That's a good name. Really? It's not Grady's watching by chance, is it? Because we're from the same area. Someone's asked me that before. That's why I asked. And I'm like, huh. Because I listened to her and I'm like, I don't hear it, but I do hear it. Some of the words she says, it takes me back to whenever my father was around because my dad passed. Nope, not her. Oh, okay. Because someone has asked me that before. They're like, "Are you guys from the same place?" I'm like, "Well, technically, yeah, kinda." But I think she's got more of a accent than me. I think I have more of a Southern. I don't know what I've got. I don't know what I got going on here. But if you are new to the channel, my name is Tanya or TitaniumBuilt, and it's really nice to meet you. We do cover everything true crime here. So if that's something that you're into and you appreciate the case coverage, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll get on into it for tonight. Well, for today, because I'll be back tonight as well. And I've got the dogs in here. One's licking her paw. She's going to town on that thing. Sorry, guys, if you can hear her. Oh, thanks, Oopsie. I bet you have a nice accent too. Hey, Toby. Hey, Graham. It's good to see you guys. Welcome in, everyone. Okay, so we're going to kind of start at the beginning. We're going to start with the indictment because I wasn't sure if I was going to cover this case on the channel. I wasn't really sure what was going on in the beginning, and then I just was reading up on it, and then I read the indictment, and then I started watching, Law and Crime. I watched Cuomo last night. He had Suge Knight on there, and he was saying some interesting things, and it's going to get very interesting. This case is going to bring out, I think, a lot of people that we wouldn't have expected to hear from. And I think they're going to be telling us some things a little more than 1,000 bottles of lube going to do. Actually, I think that, I think his lawyer actually had a reasoning for that. I'll have to look that up because I want to see what that reasoning was for him to have all that. Let's see. So I can I'm going to type it in so I don't forget about it. Oh, I can give it to you real quick what he said. This is the dumbest reasoning I've ever seen. I'm going to go to Costco today because I have a Costco membership and I have a Sam's Club, so we'll go to both. It said because his lawyer said he owns a lot of baby oil and lube because he buys in bulk at Costco. Are you kidding me? Because he buys in bulk? You get 2 or 3 bigger containers of the baby oil. You don't get 1,000 bottles. What is he talking about? Oh gosh. Okay, let me go ahead and get the indictment up here and we'll read through it. And then tonight I'll come back and we will talk about this case or we'll talk about another case. Now, is that showing up on the screen? Yeah, it is. Okay, for some reason it's showing up black on mine. I was like, what's going on here? Oh, thanks, Shelly. I'm going to actually grab a couple ibuprofen really quick. Or Advil, whatever you want to call them. Sorry, I've had my hair up like all day long, and I was starting to get a headache. So I'm gonna take a couple Advil and then we're gonna get into reading this indictment. Right, Bombs, Becca? Yeah, like the healthcare stuff and like I buy my shampoo and stuff there because I get the Nexus or whatever it's called, but it just comes in bigger containers, and then you'll get like 2 of them, or like their body washes. I get my body wash there, you'll get like 3 in a pack, and they're just larger. It's so crazy to me that trying to fool us. 1,000 bottles from Costco. Well, I mean, did you buy it all at the same time? That would be kind of, weird. I mean, even if you owned a store that sold baby oil, you wouldn't need that much. So he does have a lot of names. And if you're not sure who we're talking about, he is so P Diddy, whichever you want to call him. He is an American rapper. Well, he was a rapper in the early 2000s, 1990s, early 2000s. I grew up listening to his music. I liked it when I was younger. I just listened to something that he wrote like a couple weeks ago or a week ago, right before he was arrested. And then he was arrested. And I was like, oh, look at that. Another one to take off the Pandora list. Um, but he does go by a few different names here. And Vincent's going to come home here in just a second, so it might get loud for a minute. But it's the United States of America versus Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD, and aka Love. Now, the last 2, I never heard those ones. Now, I don't think I would ever call them that, but And I wanted to highlight things through this, but for some reason it wouldn't let me. I downloaded it and it wouldn't let me highlight things. So there's nothing really highlighted on here, but I'm going to read through it. So they put all of his surnames or whatever you want to call these, his and aliases. And I'm just going to call him the defendant. So for decades, the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on employees, resources, and influence of multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. The defendant operated his business headquartered various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global, collectively the Combs business. So that's what they'll refer to his businesses as from now on. Corporate entities in the Combs business included, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, an apparel line, an alcoholic spirits business, a marketing agency, and a television network and media company. At all times relevant to this indictment, the defendant engaged in a persistent and persuasive pattern of abuse towards women and other individuals. This was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of S activity with male commercial sex workers. At times, Combs and other acting at his direction made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation and violence. Physical abuse by the defendant was recurrent and widely known. On numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance at a Los Angeles hotel in or about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave. So I believe it was TMZ that it was one of those that got the video, that got this video of, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, whatever, the defendant doing this to the woman was Cassie. It was Cassie as a singer and someone that he was dating for like 10 years. I want to know how did this tape not ever get out before? And how did they know to go get it now? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm really curious about that because I know that Cassie came forward, but they don't know where they were at in, in 2016. So I don't know. It says, when a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Combs' violence was also not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. The defendant used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and commercial sex. These employees included security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors, and other close associates acted as Combs' intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the Combs business. It says the Combs enterprise. From at least in or about 2008 on or about the date of the filing of this indictment, the defendant and others known and unknown were members and associates of a criminal organized, the Combs enterprise or the enterprise. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotic offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. I probably got me demonetized right there. It'll be okay. Sorry, YouTube. Just let me have this one today. The Combs enterprise, including its leadership, its members, and its associates, constituted an enterprise by defined as Title 18 United States Code, Section 1961, Section 4, that is a group of individuals associated in fact, although not a legal entity. The Combs enterprise consisted of the defendant, entities within the Combs business, including but not limited to Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global. Individuals employed by and associated with the Combs business and others known and unknown. The Combs enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members functioned as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objectives of the Combs enterprise. The Combs enterprise was engaged in and its activities affected interstate and foreign commerce. The Combs enterprise operated in the Southern District of New York. I said North Carolina, New York, and elsewhere. I don't know where I was getting that. At all times relevant to this indictment, the defendant was the leader of the Combs enterprise. The defendant and others known and unknown participated in unlawful and other activities related to the conduct of the Combs enterprise's affairs. These individuals included certain Combs business employees, such as members of Combs security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors, as well as other associates of Combs. This guy was not messing around. He had everybody included. You're included, you're included, you're included. Even Oprah. Speaking of you're included. The purposes of the Combs enterprise is the following. Operating a global business in the media, entertainment, and lifestyle industries, including, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, an apparel line, an alcohol spirits business, and a marketing agency, and a television network and media company. Preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power, reputation, and brand of the defendant as a musician, entrepreneur, and figure in the entertainment industry. enriching members and associates of the enterprise, including its leaders, Combs, and in particular, those who demonstrated loyalty to Combs and willingness to conceal his crimes. Preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power of the Combs enterprise, including the power of its leader, Combs, through violence, use of firearms, threats of violence, coercion, and verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Fulfilling the personal desires of Combs, particularly those related to Combs' sexual gratification, including through the exploitation of women and the use of commercial sex workers. Enabling Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise to engage in unlawful acts of violence, including sexual behaviors, trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation, for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics distribution, and other crimes, and concealing the commission of such acts. Securing absolute loyalty from members of the Combs enterprise, including through acts of violence and threats, protecting the Combs enterprise and its members and associates, including Combs, from detection and prosecution by law enforcement authorities through acts of intimidation, manipulation, bribery, and threats of retaliation against individuals who witnessed the crimes committed by members and associates of the enterprise. Nobody was safe. The defendant and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise conducted and participated in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise included the following. So let's see who participated. Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with male commercial workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the Combs enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial S workers across state lines and internationally. He was flying them in internationally? Freak-offs, wow, occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial workers. During freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. Sometimes unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in sex acts with commercial workers. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. Wow. Wonder what they was giving them. Like, other than like ecstasy, because I did hear that. I heard that he made one girl take ecstasy. And welcome in, everybody. Hey, Juno. Hey, Jelly. Hey, Chopper. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Diane. Hey, Faith. Oh, I'm on another page, so it's hard. I'm just like now, like I'm trying to look over at the chat at the same time. So where are we at? Okay. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other Combs business employees, facilitate the freak-offs by, among other things, booking hotel rooms for the freak-off, stocking the hotel rooms in advance with the required freak-off supplies, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. Oh, you got to have good lighting. Cleaning the hotel rooms after the freak-offs to try to mitigate room damage, arranging for travel for victims, commercial workers, and Combs to and from freak-offs, resupplying Combs with requested supplies, delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay the workers, and scheduling delivery of IV fluids. In or about March 2024, during searches of Combs' residences in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Like, how I mean, 1,000 bottles. That's a crap ton. Like, how I mean, sure I've never okay, even when I used to use baby oil on my eyes to take off my mascara, and I haven't done that in a while, I should start doing that again. Um, I never used a whole bottle of baby oil. I've never used a whole bottle. I don't even think as a baby, I used a whole bottle. Oh, yeah, he had toys too, yeah, I had like 700 or something like that. Like a I mean, yeah, like a whole store full. I wonder where all this was kept. I just wanna see the room it was kept in, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, but I do. Because I mean, I just wanna see 1,000 bottles, see what 1,000 bottles looks like. Combs subject victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in the freak-offs. Combs maintained control over his victims through, among other things, physical violence, promises of career opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, controlling their housing, and supplying them with controlled substances. Sorry. During and separate from freak-offs, Combs, among other things, hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims at times by their hair. These assaults often resulted in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. Combs also threatened victims' careers and livelihoods, including if they resisted participating in freak-offs. Victims believed they could not refuse Combs' demands without risking their financial or job security or without repercussions in the form of physical or emotional abuse. Combs also used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings that he made during freak-offs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of the victims. Yep, 50's been saying it. Cat Williams been saying it. Chris Tucker got out at the best moment. He found Jesus, got the hell out of there. Said 12 million, I'm good. I'm okay. No, I don't need it. Man. I have a feeling I would be cutting down my music list a lot over the next few months. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprises, including Combs, security personnel, at times carried firearms. On more than one occasion, Combs himself carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten others, including victims of and witnesses to his abuse. In or about March 2024, during searches of Combs' residences in Miami, Florida, in Los Angeles, California, law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, as well as drum magazines. So he scratched off the numbers on the magazine and on the weapons. Why would you do that? Because you don't want them traced back to you. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise enable Combs' control over victims by following his directions regarding financial payments to victims, advancing or suppressing the victim's career opportunities, and acquiring the controlled substances Combs used to keep the victims compliant. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise at times witnessed Combs' violence towards the victims or the victims' injuries caused by Combs without intervening. Instead, members and associates of the Combs Enterprise helped conceal the violence and abuse by, among other things, assisting Combs in the monitoring and preventing victims from leaving locations such as hotels or Combs' residence. You got to stay here till you get better, kind of deal. These occasions included instances in which a victim was required to remain in hiding, sometimes for several days at a time, to recover from injuries Combs inflicted, without being publicly observed. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise also assisted Combs in locating and contacting victims who attempted to flee his abuse. When employees witnessed to his abuse or others threatened Combs' authority or reputation, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise engaged in acts of violence, threats of financial and reputational harm, and verbal abuse. These acts of violence included kidnapping and arson. Wow. In addition, on multiple occasions, Combs threw both objects and people, as well as hit, dragged, choked, and shoved others. When Combs' authority or reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity or legal or law enforcement action against him, including in or about late 2023, Following public allegations of Combs' crimes, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise pressured witnesses and victims, including through attempted bribery, to stay silent and not report what they had experienced or knew to law enforcement. Man. Yeah, you wouldn't got bail, yeah. I was reading the chat. I think if he would have got that chance, he would have took off. Now, I think they would have found him and brought him back, but I think he would have tried to take off. On phone calls, Combs and other members and associates, among other things, provided these victims and witnesses with a false narrative of events in an effort to conceal Combs' crimes. Combs caused these calls to be recorded on at least 2 occasions. This is going to be the racketeering conspiracy. So from at least in or about 2008 through on or about the date of the filing of this indictment, the defendant and others, unknown. Sorry, my phone was ringing, so I was trying to look at my watch. Where are we at? The defendant and others, known and unknown, being persons employed by and associated with the Combs enterprise, described in paragraphs 6 through 12 of this indictment, an enterprise engaged in and the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly combined, conspired, confederated, and agreed together and with each other to violate the racketeering laws of the United States, to wit, Title 18, United States Code, Section 1962, Section C, that is, to conduct and participate directly and indirectly in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity, as that term and defined in the Title 18 United States Code, Section 1961, Section 1, and Section 5, consisting of multiple acts involving kidnapping chargeable under the following provisions of the law. I won't read all that out. Well, actually, I will. These are all California penal codes. So there's kidnapping, aiding and abetting, attempt, and conspiracy. Multiple acts involving arson, chargeable under the following provisions of the state law: arson, attempted arson, aiding and abetting, conspiracy. These are all the same. Multiple acts of bribery, multiple acts indictable under Title 18 United States Code, Section 1512, relating to tampering with a witness, victim, or an informant. Multiple acts indictable under Title 18 United States Code, Section 1589, and 2, relating to forced labor. Multiple acts indictable under Title 18 United States Code, Section 1591, related to sex trafficking. The next one is indictable under so it's indictable and it says relating to transportation and inducement to travel for purposes of prostitution and other sexual activities. Multiple offenses involving the possession with intent to distribute or distribution of narcotics and controlled substances, including cocaine, oxycodone, that's not Xanax. That's Adderall, it looks like some sort of Adderall meth. Yeah. No, I don't know what this one is. Dimethoxylamine, maybe like a painkiller. I don't know about that one, guys. Hydrobutyric acid and ketamine. Wokey dokey. Wow. What's this one? I wonder. You know, when you gotta drug people just for them to to have sex with you, you're not quite the man that you think you are, if you think about it. Like, if you have to run after a woman because she wants to leave you and you have to beat her and drag her back to the hotel room like a barbarian, no. That's pretty sad on your part, really. The defendant agreed that a conspirator would commit at least 2 acts of racketeering activity in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise. It says notice of special sentencing factor from at least in or about 2009 up to and including and or about 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere as part of his agreement to conduct and participate in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity, the defendant agreed to and in affecting interstate and foreign commerce knowingly recruited, enticed, harbored, transport, provided, obtained, advertised, maintained, patronized, and solicited by any means a person knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion as described in Title 18, and it gives the United States Code section, and any combination of such means would be used to cause the person to engage in a commercial sex act in violation of the Title Code 18. It gives the section again. Count 2, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Victim 1. And we do have a new someone that did come forward, and another victim that is suing him, and she came out yesterday. So it says the grand jury further charges from at least in or about 2009 up to and including in or about 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. The defendant in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce knowingly recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, provided, obtained, advertised, maintained, patronized, and solicited by any means a person knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that means of force, threats, or force, fraud, and coercion, as described in Title 18, and any combination of such means would be used to cause the person to engage in commercial sex act and attempted, aided, and abetted and willingly caused the same, to wit, Combs recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, and maintained a person, victim 1, and attempted, aided, and abetted and willingly caused victim 1 to engage in commercial sex acts, knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that victim 1 was engaging in commercial sex acts as a result of force, fraud, and coercion. Wow. I feel bad for anybody that's ever had to be around this guy ever, especially the kids. But you know what that really goes back on? Where the hell were their parents? Letting Justin Bieber stay with him for 2 days. I'm sorry, where was Bieber's mom? She was his manager. If my kid was 15 or 16 or something, he wasn't even 16 yet, because they were talking about driving the car when he turned 16. If my kid was 15, he would not be staying the night at P Diddy's. I'm sorry. That's just me. That's just me. I don't care. I mean, I don't care who it would be. I just wouldn't do it. Just wouldn't do it. That would be just weird to me. Like, why do you want my kid to stay with you? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I would be thinking as a parent. Right, Faith? I wouldn't be doing that. Yeah, like what's wrong with you people? Like you wanted a couple days off or something? Like from you know what I mean? That's what I think of like when I think of stuff like that. When I hear these things. Like I mean, I don't know. Even if you didn't know, it's a grown ass man wanting to hang out with your 15-year-old kid. That's weird to me. And not in a music setting where I could be there. I don't know. So it says here that did we read this part? Yeah, I think we read that part. No, it's the same. This is the same thing though. 2009. It says the defendant knowingly transported the individual interstate and foreign commerce with intent that the individual engaged in prostitution and attempted, aided, and abetted and willfully caused the same, to wit, Combs transported, aided, and abetted and willfully caused the transportation of female victims and commercial sex workers in interstate and foreign commerce on multiple occasions with the intent that they engaged in prostitution. And then this is one, I think the last one maybe, forfeiture allegations as result in committing the offenses alleged in count 1 of this indictment. The defendant shall forfeit to the United States pursuant to Title 18 any and all interest the defendant acquired or maintained in violation of Title 18 and any and all interest in securities of, claims against, and property or contractual rights of any kind affording a source of influence over the enterprise named and described herein, which the defendant established, operated, controlled, conducted, and participated in the conduct of in violation 18, and any and all property constituting and derived from proceeds obtained directly and indirectly, said offense, including but not limited to a sum of money in the United States currency representing the amount of proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense. Diddy, you gotta be able to afford a lawyer, because if they're gonna take all your money from 2008 before, that's all the money you made. I didn't even know he was like popular still, like, or a thing. Like, even I didn't even know people talk to him still. I really didn't. As a result of committing the offense alleged in count 2 of this indictment, the defendant shall forfeit to the United States any property, real and personal, involved in, used or intended to be used to commit or facilitate the commission of said offense, and any and all property traceable to such property, any and all property, real and personal, constituting or derived from proceeds obtained directly or indirectly as a result of said offense, including but not limited to a sum of money in the United States currency representing the amount of property involved in said offense, and proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense. As a result of committing the offense alleged in count 3, they want him to, the defendant shall forfeit any and all property, real and personal, constituting or derived from proceeds obtained directly or indirectly as a result of said offense, and any and all property, real or personal, that was used or intended to be used to commit or facilitate the commission of said offense. Then those are just sections and codes. And all property, real and personal, that constitutes or derived from proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense, including but not limited to a sum of money in the United States currency representing the amount of proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense. That's kind of weird. I don't know the way they word documents. Substitute assets provision. Okay. This is the last page. If any of the above described forfeitable property as a result of any act or omission of the defendant, A, cannot be located upon the exercise of due diligence, B, has been transferred or sold to or deposited with a third person, C, has been placed beyond the jurisdiction of the court, D, has been substantially diminished in value, or E, has been coming led with other property which cannot be subdivided without difficulty. It is the intent of the United States pursuant to 18 in Title 21, Title 28, to seek forfeiture of any property of the defendant up to the value of the above forfeiture property. Okie dokie. Well, how much are they trying to get? I wonder how much property they want to secure with him. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm curious about, but very curious. Very curious. Well, I'm going to jump off here. I just wanted to come on here really quick and just read this document for you guys. I want to go over the whole case, but I wanted to get at least this part out, and then we can start digging into, oh my gosh, there's just so much. There's just so much. Let me see. I'll go over to Twitter real quick. That's where I've been seeing a lot of stuff. Maybe. Usually if I just like flip right over here. The jailhouse interview with Suge Knight. We'll go over that tonight. That was, yeah. What else was there? I was going to show you guys. Let me know if there's anything actually, that you guys want to talk about, like, in particular with that case. We can talk about whatever. I was just seeing if there's anything over here that I must tell you now. Oh my gosh. Okay, so do you want to hear something that I did see today? They are making Teslas now to where they can pick you up in the parking lot. Okay, so when you park your car and it's a busy parking lot, and like you come out and you're like, oh crap, where'd I park my car? Okay, yeah. Teslas, they're now going to be able to come find you in the parking lot. I'm sorry, but a car passes by me in a parking lot and there is not somebody driving it, I'm gonna freak out a little. It's like, the ones at, Sam's Club, they have those, like, cleaning carts, those huge cleaning things, and they go around and there's nobody on them. They know where to go. It's weird. It's weird. But I do wanna thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me just for a little short live today, but, I will be back tonight. We can go over this case. We have, updates in the we also have updates in another case that we're covering, MAMSA Bat, but we can always do that tomorrow. So we'll do, maybe we'll do P Diddy tonight and do MAMSA tomorrow. Um, and then I think tomorrow during the day, I might do a Sebastian stream, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of crap going on in that case, and I just kind of want to talk about it. But nothing that's, nothing good. But I did reach out to SF like a couple days ago on Twitter, and I was like, "Hey, I know a lot of people are like really just all of a sudden, big influx in people wanting you on their panels." I was like, "But if you want to come on after you're done, like when you get home, because I don't want to bother them while I was there." I said that'd be great, so you could tell us what like what you did there. So we'll see. And yeah. I think that's all I have for you guys. So thank you guys for being here today. I do appreciate it. I think there's going to be a lot more people that go down with Diddy, and we're just going to have to see what happens. So I'm going to get some stuff together for us tonight. I know that Nancy Grace she just did a video over this. So maybe we can review her because she was like talking about Eminem and talking about how he's a lyrical genius. I was just laughing really hard because I'm like, Nancy, come on now, Nancy. Thank you, Oopsie, for gifted a membership. That's very kind of you. Very kind of you. So I am going to try to do a day live tomorrow as well. It'll probably be maybe a little bit earlier. Maybe a little earlier than this one. That's what I do, 11 Summer Moon. I just hit the button. I'm just like, I hit the button. I'm like, oh, where's my car? I've done that before. Because when I go to the dentist, I have to park in the parking garage. And it's just sometimes I get, turned around. It is. There's so much circus. That's a circus act. And the people talking about it being a circus act are not helping the circus act. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not helping. So it's like and this is what I said. Maybe I need to make a video. I was like, why don't everybody just take a week off from Sebastian Rogers' case? They couldn't. I did. I took 1 week. It's been 1 week today, I think. We haven't covered it. And yeah, do I not have as many people in my chat every night? Yeah. But will you guys be here after the Sebastian Rogers case? Yeah, I have full faith because we cover other cases, If you only cover one case, all of that growth that you got, they're going to die off with the next case because they're not going to be into it. It is hard to look away. I'm guilty of watching. I'm guilty. I mean, I watch it too. I'm just, but I'm just like, oh my gosh. Now, some stuff I won't, no. Now, I won't say everybody I watch. I won't give any, I haven't been watching no Betty, no Nick, no Seth interviews, no dog interviews. I got through for a quarter of Jennifer Coffendover's interview and I was like, I'm out. I was like, I'm done. It was pretty funny, but I'm gonna actually get this order together too. I just remembered I got an order today. So, and I will be running a new sale this weekend as well. So, but I do have some sales on the website. If you want to go over there and always take a look, you can. But if you don't mind, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. My little channel is over here trying to grow, Thanks, Captain. I appreciate that. Cheryl, you do gift every day. You do. You do. You gift a lot. You do. And I appreciate it so much. I really, really appreciate you guys. I'll be here later this evening around, let's do 8:15 or 9:15. Between 8:15 and 9:15. But I'll let you guys know here shortly. I'll put the thumbnail up. So I will see you guys all soon. Have a wonderful day if I don't get to see you. And always catch us on a replay. Bye, guys.